Hey everybody, so I thought I'd just make a quick video on my Trek 520 Grando and the state of it. Um, so since the last video, I think I was at like 1,000 miles maybe. I've put another 1,000 miles on the bike since I'm at 2,069 miles on the bike. And I've done a few modifications to it. As you can see, probably if you watch the other video or if you're familiar with this bike, you'll see two things clearly that are not that didn't come with this bike. I switched out the handlebars for the GR Elite. They have a 13-degree flare, and the reason I went with the flare on the drops is I do a lot of off-roading with this bike. I do a lot of gravel, a lot of sand. Really, there's a lot of trails around here that are really sandy, and I just found being on the drops. There's a lot of open sections too, so I found just being on the drops, but having a little bit more wiggle room, so to say, with your arms. I just feel more comfortable off-roading. Like I can stay on the drops, and if I get like a tail slide or something, I can correct it easily. And also I felt just the way when I was really tucked in, my knees were actually pretty close to the bars, to the drops there. And now with the flare, I got a nice clearance there. I mean, I'm not always tucked in like that, but when I want to be comfortable. The other difference is obviously the red tape. I put red tape on it to accentuate the red accents on the bike, and then I've also got some there too, in the top too. I switched out the wheels. I still have the other wheels. I was told to keep them if I could do like some serious touring and like really load the bike up. I went ahead and I was originally going to have a wheel set built for me, and because wheels just have not been available at the time of recording this, then I got an email saying the Aeolus wheels had a restock, and I was looking at them and I'm like, these are really, really, really nice. They're an all carbon wheel. I think just the nipple hubs are aluminum, but the rest of the wheel's carbon. And I just was like, you know what? I wanted to upgrade the wheel set to something better, and I went with these. Now you can spend a lot more money than I did. You can also spend a lot less than I did. I'm extremely, extremely happy with these wheels. When I got them on the bike and I went and picked it up at the shop, when I picked the bike up, I noticed right away an immediate difference in weight. They roll really fast. They are, I mean, just extremely responsive. The biggest change, besides the weight of the wheels themselves, is the hub. The hub on the old wheels, which were Affinity, those I think had 50 points of engagement. This has double that. So when you pedal, you go. I mean, immediately. It's extremely nice, especially like I said, I do over, you know, off road and stuff like that, where when you pedal, you wanna it go immediately. You don't want to hesitate, especially in the soft sand. You'll just sink in. Which leads me to another thing: is I switched out the tires. These came with GR1, Bontrager GR1. They were great, not too great in the sand. You slide a lot. They don't really have that much grip. They're a low profile tread. So I went with a lot more aggressive tread. These are Origin 8 something or other. It says it down here where my wheels are. But of course it's upside down. So Origin 8 Wildfire GX. They're 700 by 38C. And as you can see, I went with Aeolus Pro 3V. The reason I went with the Pro 3V is because apparently the 3V is more gravel sort of spec. It's a bit more robust than just the Aeolus Pro 3. That's what I've told. I'm not an expert in the parts, but I know the parts guy at my local bike store. He's an expert, so I trust what he says. Then I went with a company out of Colorado called VC Graphics with an X, and I got these white lettering for the wheels because I figured that would just make it really pop with the extra white accents and stuff. and contrast with the red, and I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. They sent me a few extra sets, thankfully, because I've never put decals like that on, and I did mess up the first set, but thankfully I got the hang of it pretty quickly. And then I went ahead and got a top tube bag. This is the Bontrager. Can't remember the exact name of this one. I actually just picked it up not long ago. It's really nice. Got a lot of it's dual sided. So you got waterproof pockets on this side here. You got one there, pretty large one, and a smaller one there. Sorry, it's not focusing the greatest. In here, I've got some snacks. I've got a tire tube, and I've got a little hand air pump. Just because when I'm doing like some really long distance rides, like 30 plus, but I mean some of you will be, that's not really that long, but it's way out in the sticks, like nothing. I mean nothing around at all. And if you get a flat out there, you're just screwed. So I figured if I'm gonna be really doing some touring with this, it can't hurt to be prepared and have a tube and a hand air pump. Some people are like, I'll get one of those little CO2 things and you can just put it up there, and I'm like, yeah, that's alright, that's great, but I could still use this for anything else too. It's just not just dedicated for the bike. And it has like its own PSI gauge built into it, so it's really nice. Got a really, really nice setup going here. Very, very, very happy with how the bike turned out, and really that's all I think I need to do to the bike. I still have the front rack that you can always put back on for touring, and then I guess I'd have to go to the other wheel set, which I really don't want to. There was a huge, huge difference between these wheels and these wheels that came on it. I'd say there's a 1.5 to 2 mile an hour speed difference, which is pretty great just for switching out the wheels. Because I went with a lighter wheel, but I also went with a more aggressive tread. So on the road, slows you down just a little bit more, a little bit noisier. But I really would rather have the grip than the extra speed on the road or something. I mean, I can comfortably cruise at like 20 miles an hour on this bike, and I can go a lot faster. You can also really just crawl with the lowest gears, but I tend not to really ride in the lower gears. That's what's great about this bike, because it has such great spacing, and I'm just very, very, very happy with this bike, and I love the way the red bars turned out and the white lettering. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Comment your opinion on the bike. If you have one of these, I'd love to hear from your experiences. I had somebody a comment on the other video that I did, my original review video, and they told me a great story about how they put thousands and thousands of miles on the bike, and I love hearing that. That's one of the things that sold me on this bike. I originally wanted a checkpoint, but the checkpoints aren't available for a long time apparently, and I watched some videos and read some things about people putting like thousands of miles on these bikes with no issues at all, and I was like, well, if they're putting thousands of miles on it, within a month or 2 months, I shouldn't have any problem. And I've had it just over 6 months, and I put 2,000 miles on it. So, I mean, I'm starting to rack up the miles. I'm not a crazy endurance biker. It's also summertime here, and I live in Florida, and the heat index is like 100 plus every single day during the summer. So I've been waking up really early and going for shorter rides with sprint sort of rides, and saving the endurance rides for the winter when I won't just sweat to death, because I've already had heat exhaustion once and don't really want to repeat that again. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope this helps you. If you can find one of these bikes, I seriously recommend it. It's a one for all pretty much bike. You can do anything and everything with this bike pretty much. Of course, not like a mountain bike, but you could always put a suspension fork on it. I've actually seen people switch a suspension fork on this and pretty much use it as a mountain bike. I really can't say enough about this bike. So anyway, thanks for watching.